What's going on, YouTube? It's the best basketball YouTuber in the game. Brad Stevens is a GM now, and Brad Stevens should fire Brad Stevens.
What did he say?
His offseason looks really confusing. It's as if he wants to build his old team with Isaiah Thomas, despite the fact that winning in the East now requires beating a team with 3 stars, whether that's the Nets or the Heat or the defending champion Bucks. Instead of finding a path to a 3rd star, all Brad Stevens did was add players other teams didn't want. First, we need to get into how Brad Stevens brought back Al Horford. Why would the Celtics want Al Horford when the last time he was on the team, he was dominated by Giannis and the Celtics got 4-1 out of the playoffs? And on top of that, worst of all, he was garbage for the 76ers and barely played for the Thunder. To get him, Brad Stevens gave away Kemba Walker and a 1st-round pick, which the Celtics could have used to just draft a center. Which makes the situation worse is the Thunder just brought out Kemba Walker. They didn't even keep him. Walker is now in New York, and if he's healthy, he's going to kill the Celtics. The Celtics are going to shell out $26 million this year and almost the same amount next year for a guy who is 35 and averaged only 14 points and 6 rebounds and played only 28 games last season. I mean, damn, was Kevin Love not available? The Thunder didn't want Horford so much they told him they would pay his ass to stay home. I understand last year was COVID, but I don't think working from home is good in the case of the NBA players. I mean, if he was doing what I was doing, he was sleeping 12 hours a day and walking around the crib in pajamas. What is he gonna do for the Celtics? After that, Brad Stevens went out and flipped Moses Brown, a promising young center that they got in the trade with Al Horford. He flipped him and traded him for Josh Richardson. Now, this is the same Josh Richardson that couldn't fit in Philly and then got shipped to Dallas. Then in Dallas, he only shot 33% from 3. And in the playoffs, he averaged 4.9 points, only played 13 minutes a game. Then in a game 7 against the Clippers, he only played 6 minutes. Now, I know some of y'all wish y'all lasted that long in bed, but listen, he had a player option, he picked it up. So it looked like Dallas was gonna have to stick with him, but out of the blue, the Celtics came and freed him of that burden, and they got back a talented young player in Moses Brown. Brown will only make $6 million the next 3 seasons. And he plays a position of need for the Celtics at the center, the big. And they gave him up to pay a guy $10 million this year who will likely come off the bench and cannot shoot threes. I mean, literally, the last 4 years, Josh Richardson has been hopping from bench to bench and getting paid like a homeless man in Venice Beach. What the fuck, Brad Stevens? The 3rd player Stevens traded for that nobody wanted was Chris Dunn. In a 3-team deal, he moved Tristan Thompson, the team's best rebounder from last season, for Chris Glass Knees Dunn and Bruno Fernando. These 2 players combined to play 37 games and average only 2.8 points last season. Dunn got traded because he took his player option, and the Hawks did not want him. And what's most confusing is Chris Dunn on the court offers nothing that Marcus Smart doesn't do. And then on top of that, he can't shoot, he can't beat guys off the dribble, and he can't stay healthy. He hasn't played 60 games in a season in 4 years. Look, it's troubling for Celtics fans. Brad Stevens clearly sees this team competing, and I'm just speculating, but I think Brad Stevens will eventually navigate himself to be both coach and GM for this team, like he's back as a college recruiting coach at Butler. I'm not saying that he's trying to do new coach Ime Udoka dirty, but if you look at the moves, he didn't make one move better this offseason than Danny Ainge had done in recent years. If you want to hear more about the Celtics moves this offseason, subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing a full recap soon. Thank you for sticking all the way through to the end of the video. Don't forget to sub down below, and you can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DannyDoSports. Holla at your boy.